The day will come when electricity will be for everyone, as the waters of the rivers and the winds of the heavens. It should not merely be supplied but lavished, as men may use at their will, as the air they breathe.
$1.2 billion people around the world live with very poor or non-existent provision of electrical power. By 2030, 600 million out of the 674 million people in the world who still do not have access to electricity will live in sub-Saharan Africa, the majority of which in rural areas. Each of these households will require at least 1,000 kilowatt-hour a year of dependable energy for economic development to provide reliable lighting, better public services and health and education, improve farming productivity and small-scale industrial activities. This equates to 50 kilowatts for a community of 100 households, rising to about 5 megawatts for communities of 10,000 households. This energy will be provided by a form of microgrid. These microgrids will need to include a hybrid of renewables, dispatchable generators, and energy storage, which will be monitored and controlled by a smart microgrid controller. A smart microgrid controller for remote rural communities needs to satisfy some essential requirements, including being affordable for everyone and available to smaller or simpler installations. In this context of rural communities and their economic development, we believe there is no need to correlate price and functionality. We are positively intent on providing an SMC that delivers world-class performance across a range of required functionalities. One of the key goals of providing electrical power and enabling mass adoption of the SMC technology to such remote rural communities should be to do so in a way that maximises local benefit and their economic development. We wish to keep investment expenditure retained within the local economy. Having an SMC that is free of charge for most installations is a key enabler in achieving this challenging and worthwhile goal. So with that in mind, we have designed the SMC's computer infrastructure, keeping minimised systems cost as our priority. For example, in order to achieve this without compromising on world-class functionality, every element of our system has been carefully developed to run on low-cost, single-board computers such as Raspberry Pi, which consume minimal power. Built over the open and free Linux operating system, our SMC software is easily portable to even cheaper single-board computers as they become available over time. This not only provides the high level of functionality, control and resilience you would expect from a large metropolitan microgrid, but the low-cost hardware means these remote rural communities will have access to affordable electricity. Any desired level of redundancy can be implemented in the hardware components to ensure high availability. Every community is different, unique in their own particular balance of how they will want to use electricity. Most of the differences will be subtle, but sometimes they will be substantial. These differences will inevitably be reflected in the shape of microgrid which supplies them. The SMC is able to service almost any type of microgrid requirement, since it can run on any combination of generator and storage, whilst enabling any pattern of use. As communities expand, they will need to respond to their growing energy demand and usage patterns without repeated and expensive intervention from the original suppliers or their agents. They need their microgrid controller to be adaptable to the situation as it changes. SMC's open source software allows local developers to independently incorporate new requirements, providing the potential for extraordinary improvements from expertise around the world. The SMC is a policy-based system which is configured so that the behaviour of the microgrid it controls is always the best fit to each particular community requirement. It dynamically responds to data from generators, consumers and monitoring devices to optimise energy efficiency, reduce running costs and of course balance supply and demand. We believe the most valuable functionality desired by the sub-Saharan microgrid users will be the ability for them to control who gains access to electricity provision and their usage duration. Since their energy is a scarce and finite resource, A policy-based system puts control of exactly this at the discretion of the local administrator. Once operational, microgrid administrators are able to adjust the SMC's policy to better adapt their microgrid behaviour to their emerging needs. A policy-based system provides the ability to change system behaviour without requiring system software modification, which is usually only possible by the original system developer. If possible at all, getting such changes made is generally an arduous, lengthy and expensive process. As the needs of the community develop and evolve, this level of control becomes a necessity for the administrator, giving them the autonomy to adjust policy as required without reliance on previous system operators or equipment manufacturers. From very first conception, it was a principal design objective for the SMC to provide simplified delivery of sophisticated integration with all types of generators. It is easy to incorporate new generator type under SMC control, and there are no business pressures to sell the generators of a parent company. This means that SMC provides an excellent platform for integrating existing installed generators of any type, therefore maximising the returns on pre-spent investments on generation assets. SMC can also incorporate lower cost pre-used and refurbished generators such as wind turbines and diesel generators, thereby minimising the system's lifetime levelized cost of energy. Finally, new types of generators can be integrated into the control scheme as and when they are required. We believe these are important advantages for a smart microgrid system that is focused on maximising the benefits to rural communities in developing countries. At SmarterMicrogrid, with the collaboration and support of landowner and estate management at one of our existing customers, we have deployed a fully operational prototype of a smart microgrid controller. The site has electrical generation from one of our 500 kilowatt wind turbines, as well as solar PV and fossil fuel generation, supplying a range of domestic and commercial consumers. We own our company without encumbrance or liability, so we are free to act as we wish to maximise the economic development of rural communities. SMC proposes a radical solution to providing reliable and affordable energy to remote rural communities. We aspire to support them to procure, install and maintain their microgrid systems, further driving local economic development. Our mission is to change the world, one microgrid at a time. The World Resources Institute confirms that by 2040, in sub-Saharan Africa, 140 million people could be provided with electrical power for economic development via between 100,000 and 200,000 microgrids, with each microgrid providing less than 10 megawatts of power. At SmarterMicrogrid, we propose a radical solution to this challenge, which is to focus on the needs of these remote and rural communities. In order to do this, it is necessary to deploy smart microgrids and the associated generation and distribution facilities in such a way that it can be provided significantly by the local communities themselves. This results in not only the lowering of costs, but also simultaneously an increase in local jobs and services, creating local self-sufficiency and stimulating economic development wherever possible. We want to initiate conversations with potential partners who are aligned with this mission. And in particular, we wish to talk with financiers of such projects for whom the primary goal is to invest in economic development of rural communities, technology development partners who could be commercial enterprises or university departments, delivery partners who are willing and able to add appropriate expertise, politicians and community leaders who are interested in helping to enable the economic development of rural communities, and especially early adopter customer projects. If you are interested to work with us on this mission, then please contact Bob Carnell at bob@distgen.com. Thank you for your attention. We look forward to talking with you.